Hi Cancer, welcome to your end of June 2017 General Tarot Update. It's Raina here. So before I begin, I've been saying to all the other signs, please look at timing issues mentioned here or the cards in general with a very, very open-minded attitude, don't cling to a particular card or in one of my interpretations, because sometimes people, they really take it literally, and I don't think that that's really a good idea. I think especially since this is a general reading with every Cancer person on the planet, it doesn't seem like it would be it's not logical to assume that these cards are going to apply all to you specifically. And speaking of, when I do private readings even, a lot of times I'm using your natal chart anyway. I do use, in some of my readings, the tarot in a secondary way, but that's how I work. Maybe some other people, they really feel that the tarot provides for them a specific, very specific details. But for me, it's more like it's more like a themes that it brings up. And this is a general focus. So anything that comes up here, there might be a specific thing. Like this one looks like a love reading. These look like love issues. So this may turn out to be more of a love reading update than a regular reading. But this is supposed to be general, so I should be more inclusive than that, shouldn't I? Okay. So the reason I said, if you look at the top row, all the cards to me suggest some sort of romantic relationship. Well, at least the cards flanking the Knight of Wands. We have in the past position the Lover's card. This actually connects to Gemini, and because I got some other swords, maybe you've been having issues with a Gemini person. This card is in the past tense. This may be, I actually think this is a card that is specifically about sexual intimacy and about you giving it up for somebody. And the person that you gave it up to is this guy. And this guy, Knight of Wands, is supposed to connect with Sagittarius. I always say Aries, but Leo is the other fire sign, and Wands are fire energy. This is somebody who is a player. Now, this is the centerpiece of the reading. So this person is someone who is very, now knights can be very unstable. But unstable doesn't mean like crazy. It means that they don't necessarily have that mentality like this guy, the Knight of Pentacles, who's very consistent and very dependable. The Knight of Wands is very exciting. And some things are exciting because they're unpredictable, because you can't count on them. So there's something, it's dangerous, okay? So for some of you, you may have gotten involved with somebody who exhibited these tendencies. Now, they may not literally be a Sagittarius or anything like that, but if I were to look at their chart, they might have, even if they were a Sun in Virgo, they might have a Moon in Aries or something like that. Maybe more, maybe Venus and Mars in Sagittarius. And that makes them very adventurous, competitive, and also not necessarily staying in your life. This person can kind of come in your life and leave and turn your world upside down. For most Cancer people, and I'm speaking specifically of women, but this could apply to both genders, I suppose. You tend to be very domestic, home-oriented, and traditional. If you're having an affair with somebody, you're not typically having it just for a fling. You are hoping that it's going to turn into something more serious and more permanent. These kinds of people are afraid of commitment. So that's where, where the conflict is between you and them. And sure enough, we have here a broken heart, feeling betrayed. And if you did feel betrayed, it's because you thought that it was more than it was. You didn't realize it was just a fling on their end of things. And yet, if you were really honest with yourself, Cancer, and you really analyze this, you might kind of agree that you might have seen some red flags, you might have known the person's reputation before, or maybe you got involved too quickly, the person was pushing you. Maybe you had a physical relationship with this person before really getting to know them, and that's on you, So it's one of those things. A lot of times people like to say, oh, that person's such a dog, and they're such a womanizer, and yet they allow themselves to get involved. This is, getting intimate, getting naked with somebody. And it doesn't have to be sexual, but in this case, I think it is based upon who the Knight of Wands is. The higher message is the Ace of Cups. Now, this might even be for your future. This may be saying don't be too down in the dumps, because a soul level love is coming your way at some point. Or maybe it's also saying you need to hold out for this person who is going to touch your soul, not just your loins. And you will know, because you will have that emotional connection. It won't be about just the sex or anything like that. This could literally be somebody who's a water sign. Cancer, Scorpio, or Pisces. And this person, it's a beautiful card, It could even be, for some of these cards, it could be that you're going to get a job offer. And maybe you were being a little bit hasty with something in the past and it didn't work out. But you are going to get a job offer, but it's going to be with something that you really want at an emotional, deep emotional level. It'll touch your soul emotionally. It'll be something that's much more connected to you at that level than simply a job or what have you. What crosses you is the Nine of Cups. So this is a card of indulgence. You may have had like a nice run of things, and actually at the end of this month you're going to have your birthday, so don't celebrate too much. You are a water sign, watch drinking. Maybe that has been doing you in. Maybe that's how you got in bed with someone that you just met. Cancer water signs are very particular to gravitating towards alcohol. And it doesn't mean that you have to, but it's something that it might just be something that in the past you have. And this could be a drinking problem, drinking too much. The Nine of Cups is about, even in the upright position, is overindulgence. But it can be wishes fulfillment. I think in the reverse position, it's more of the excessive qualities associated with it. But it could be that you have a lot to celebrate too. In some area of your life, maybe even your career, because the Nine of Cups can be very good for those kinds of things, believe it or not, even though it's supposed to be emotional stuff. But that can be like you really celebrating some of your good fortune. And celebrating too much, in other words. But there could be a water sign individual that is problematic. And perhaps that's maybe it's even talking about you, excessive emotionalism. You know, don't allow yourself to get carried away by feelings of, if you've felt disappointment like that Three of Swords, don't allow it to kind of snowball where you're making too much out of it, because according to this reading, the person would be more like, you should have known better, that this person was, you know, an affair rather than a real solid love partner. Advice, or what's coming in, is the Knight of Pentacles. This is a person who would be perfect for you. This connects to the sign of Taurus, so maybe that's a person you will meet that will become this love interest. It's a person who is very diligent about their financial security, and they're very dependable workers. They are very, very driven to earn money. Maybe they have a specific goal in mind. Maybe they want to buy a house or something, and they want to have a nest egg or something like that. This person may come into your life, and that will be a good fit for you, because you'll be on the same page in a lot of ways. The outcome is the Four of Swords. This is a card of retreat and rest, recuperation. And so this may suggest that you're entering a solitary phase. Perhaps this comes before this. You may decide that you just want to be alone. If you've been in some kind of relationship that didn't work out, you may decide that you just need some time to recharge your batteries before you attract the Knight of Pentacles to you. And in the case of any kind of career, you may be going through, again, even this card, it could be something, it could be like the timing could be the exact opposite. Maybe the Four of Swords is you now. What you need to do is to relax and take a breather if you're in between jobs, instead of just going right back out there. Obviously, it depends on what your finances are like, but if you do have the ability to take off a little bit of time, it's always a good idea, you know, rather than just jumping right into things, because it allows you to process what has just happened. A job loss, a relationship betrayal. And instead of just jumping, you know, and you are a Cancer, so you tend to take action very easily. And sometimes you have to be passive. So that's, you know, that's also important at times. So Cancer, I hope that you enjoyed this. If you'd like a private reading, please click on the link below. It will take you to rainamoonAstrology.com. And I have a variety of readings, most using your natal chart as the basis for a lot of my, you know, for the great portion of my reading. But in any case, good luck to you for the rest of June, and take care of yourselves. Bye.